In 1998, the Mustang SVT Cobra was looking great. The car was in its 5th year of the SN95 body, offered 305 horsepower and 300 pound-feet of torque from its proven 4.6-liter dual overhead cam modular V8 and was paired with a 5-speed manual transmission. Some might argue that 1998 was the best-looking year yet with its 17-inch wheels that resembled the legendary 1995 Cobra R. It reached 60 miles an hour in 5.4 seconds and ran the quarter mile in mid to high 13s. And it was holding its own against the 1998 Camaro Z28 and SS models despite their new LS1 engines, which produced a little more horses at 320 from the SS models. On the sales floor, Mustangs outsold Camaros more than 2-1, but Ford wasn't prepared to rest on its laurels. Moving into 1999, the pony car got a refresh, and Ford decided to up the ante with a few changes. All Mustangs moved to the harder, more chiseled lines of the new Edge Mustang. The 1999 Cobra wore a new front fascia with round fog lamps, a reverse scoop hood borrowed from the base model V6, and unique taillights with amber turn signals, which would eventually become highly sought after. Out back, the car featured a first for any Mustang, IRS. Gone was the tried and true 8.8 solid rear axle, and in its place was an independent rear suspension designed and engineered by Ford's special vehicle team and built by the Benteler Automotive Group. It was designed to be mounted into existing points on the chassis. This allowed it to be installed on the assembly line just like all the other solid rear axle cars. Power plant wise, the engine featured a new for all Mustangs returnless fuel system and an improved cylinder head design and redesigned intake manifold, producing an impressive 320 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque, rivaling the Camaro SS. But things are not always what they seem. New owners rushed to drag strips, stoplights, and chassis dynos, only to have lots of questions and some disappointments. The newer, stronger engine actually felt weaker. The new Cobra was struggling to keep up with older models. 0 to 60 was slower. Quarter mile was slower. Dyno numbers were down, on average 25 to 30 horsepower, with some reporting as much as 50. Owners of the new Cobras were left scratching their heads, and many confronted their Ford dealers. It got so bad that a class action lawsuit was filed in Florida alleging false advertising when it came to horsepower numbers. Ford responded by stopping production of 1999 Cobras and canceling the 2000 Cobra production altogether. Owners then received a letter from SVT with a recall offering 3 modifications: a new intake manifold, a new exhaust system, and a reflash of the engine control computer. Now the fixes finally produced the correct amount of power, but the damage had been done. SVT had lost a good amount of credibility, and despite the incredible 2000 Cobra R with its naturally aspirated 385 horsepower dual overhead cam 5.4-liter V8, there was no 2000 Cobra. Even when the 2001 model returned with the correct as-promised horsepower and even some interior upgrades, the Cobra had somewhat lost its fangs, even to the SVT fanbase. Now, I don't mean to throw shade at the 99 and 01 Cobras, as they are truly great cars. But the fact remains that the horsepower deficiency made them infamous at the time. Ford and SVT had to put in the work to get back to its place in the high-performance pony car market, which it did with the Terminator Cobras, but that's a topic for another time. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative, and if you did, please do me a favor and hit that like button, or better yet, make sure you subscribe to get the very latest here on the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see ya on the next one.